Good morning and welcome to today's Life This Beautiful Morning. I hope that you're having a nice and a beautiful day. Well, it's a cold morning here in Jos Plateau State, and as you can see, we are sipping some tea. My colleagues as well on on the set with me today. I have Engineer Tony, Joyce, and Solomon. Good morning.
It's like no cold anywhere. There's no cold
I was about to say
anywhere.
I'm the only one navigating the cold.
There's no cold anywhere. Unfortunately, I've dressed today, but there's no cold anywhere.
Okay.
The more they see, the
Because
less
we
they
are, because
understand.
we are CPT doesn't mean that it's cold.
True.
How
That's
can you
very
open a shoe
honest.
with a lie?
But honestly,
It's quite chilly.
the cold today it's something else. You know, I'm just feeling like I'm in I'm in London. You know.
Oh wow. Okay.
JOS.
See how you call London.
Just to the world.
London.
Oh, well, it's true. The weather today.
Osaka,
is-
London.
My goodness.
You know there's a place in Lagos, Osaka, London. Do you know that place? Osaka, London.
I wanted to say British.
No.
America Junction.
Okay. All right. Let's get to the show. Enough of
Somewhere
the
in
jokes
Amba.
this morning. All right. So today we are going to be discussing surviving a toxic environment. A lot of times we find ourselves in very toxic environment. You from work, from home. In fact, sometimes even at home, the place could be very toxic. From home to schools to workplaces to church, everywhere you could just find toxicity almost everywhere you go. So
Find what?
toxicity.
English. Toxicity. London. Toxicity. We're waiting. Me and you that don't know that doesn't know how to speak English. We are waiting.
He said wearing.
Okay.
That's what he just said.
All right. So we're talking about toxic environments basically. So how do we navigate it? What exactly is this toxic environment? I think we've mentioned it on countless times here on today's live, but since we're talking about toxic environments today, we'll start from what exactly do you perceive as a toxic environment for you?
Where people are toxic. Toxic environment.
True. Honest
Hassan has
answer.
missed this show. See how he's laughing.
Honestly,
As the
toxic
living
environment. Yeah, you can say
Where people are toxic.
where negativity is the order of the
Right.
day.
And you know, toxic environment is characterized by behaviors or attitudes that undermines your well-being, your productivity too, as well, and generally your mental health.
Mm.
Yes, and like Engineer Tony said, toxic environment, you find toxic people. We cannot deny the fact that in today's life, there are a lot of toxicity. And then when you go home, you go to the school, you go to the work environment, you see people with toxic behaviors. So it is very important that one finds ways to navigate such behaviors, because if you don't, sooner or later you find it affecting your well-being. So the country itself that we find ourselves, a lot of things are happening that each day you just listen to the news, you watch the news, you see things that if you're not mindful, you start asking yourself questions, you start questioning why you find yourself even in the
Yeah.
country. Think about children that at their young age, they just went to school, on their way back they were kidnapped. I was watching the pictures, the videos of the rescued children. I was just asking myself question, what did they do to deserve this? For choosing to be in a country that they call home, that should be home for them, for having a government that should protect them. All these are threats of toxic environment. So it's just very important that we find a way to navigate such behaviors, attitudes, characteristics.
Very true. Very true.
But I see environment not toxic, but what happened around. environment is just there. You understand? But it's the activities that take place in the environment that makes it toxic. And then that implies whether to call it toxic or not. And then if you look at it, you know, toxic people you will always find. That one, there's no two way about it. Simply because if you look at what the world dishes out, it's not what the Bible is giving us. So if you are called, definitely you know from the other side is going to be toxic. So it's left for you from the angle which you're coming. What's your belief? What are you made up of? And that's why the Bible talks about all the armors that we should guard ourselves with, because he knows all the things that will come to our side is negativity. So he encourages us to guard ourselves with all those belt, shield, you know, so that when it comes, you are ready to be able to resist it. That means the Bible knows that we will always see that. But it's left for you to equip yourself. So for you to navigate that, you have to equip yourself. How do you equip yourself? You have to study. Study to prove yourself worthy of your calling. By that means the negativity will always come. But that knowledge that is in you, embedded in you through Christ, that's the only thing that will help you to navigate. By knowing exactly how you are supposed to respond to all those negativity. That's the only way. But to say you will be in an environment where there is not toxic, I don't think there's any environment that is not toxic.
I was tempted to ask you a question, but maybe later. Let me not be fast about it.
I want to ask us a question. Do people know that they are toxic?
I want that one.
Some know, some don't know.
Solo, do people know that they are toxic? Yeah, going with Joyce.
Yes, with Joyce.
I think that some people are just deliberate about being toxic. For instance, someone who is manipulative knows that he is a lot of times, or rather most of the time he knows that, okay, I'm just using this person to do what I please. So he's aware that he is toxic, but sometimes people are just doing it obliviously. They don't really know they are doing it. So
Why,
I'm going
Joyce?
with
Why
Joyce.
do you think sometimes? Why did you give the answer you gave?
Okay. There are people, once you know what you are doing is bad, anything that is negative is toxic. So, but there are people that know that is bad, but they have every reason to support that behavior. Like they
defend it.
always
To
have
defend.
reasons to defend or to give as to why. And she just gave an example of manipulative people. In fact, what manipulators do is that they are at fault, and then they paint you to, like, they make you look like the person that is at fault, and you turn back to start apologizing, for example, for what they did. So some people are defensive, and that's why I say they don't know, and that's why they always give excuse. But some people, they know that I'm a gossiper, I'm manipulative, is a bad trait. So for you to know that it's bad, you are lying. Of course, you know what you are saying is not the truth. It's being toxic. You're not taking responsibility. It's being toxic.
Why would somebody know that they are toxic and still want to be toxic?
It suits them. It suits their whatever they desire or what they want, and that's why they are having their way with the behaviors, and that's why they keep being at it, or they keep doing that.
So how do we it's inevitable to live with such people, because if given the definitions that we all had, it's difficult to live without these people. Is it possible to? Well, I think if it's impossible to live without these people, it's also impossible to get an environment that is void of toxicity.
Yeah.
And that's why we're talking about surviving in the environment.
So
where
what
you
do
have-
we do to survive in a toxic environment? knowing fully well that every environment you go to will be toxic. It's just so unfortunate how we are differently wired. Prudence can take it. Solo may not be able to take it. Joyce can fight back. Somebody else can just feel, I don't even care they exist. You understand? But disregarding toxicity, does it help whoever is affected?
Disregarding it.
Yes, because it's there. Like it's like you are sick. But because it didn't keep you down, you say, well, I don't care, treating it.
Okay, for me, I would say, you see, toxic people will always be toxic. And
So we should
since
not care about them.
I don't have, I might not have the power to change you. I might not have the power to eliminate that threat. But for me, I have to find a way to survive it. Since, like I said earlier on, there are behaviors or conditions that affect your well-being. So than for me to continue to face such threats that at the end of the day would have effect on my health, I have to find a way to survive it. I have to find a way to navigate such environment. And one of the ways to recognize the red flags, when you find yourself, for example, in a work environment, you are just starting the job. You just took up the job and you started. First thing you do, don't just rush into becoming friends with everybody, because you are aware that there are people that are toxic, and you live in a toxic environment.
You don't even know them.
Yes.
You just coming in, you don't know them. So how do you want to be friends with somebody just because of the way they look?
So you see, there are people that make that mistake. You just find yourself in an environment and then you make friends with everybody. Then you later find out that, oh, this person has been lying to me. Oh, this person said that about me. Oh, this person did. I trusted this person with this information and it's all out there. You had already fallen victim of that toxic person. But you see, if I want to navigate that, knowing well that the environment where I live is toxic, it has toxic people, I first try to understand the environment. Coming into the place new, I want to understand the environment, notice the red flags that are there. In you trying to understand or get familiar with your environment, you might notice that, oh, this person has this character. Probably is not directed at you, but you just see the person, come, did you notice that? And the person is coming to and fro, gossiping, saying this. Apparently, I know that I should be careful with this person, because that this person is bringing this information. Tomorrow, it might be you that they're going to be dishing out information about you. Or if this person is constantly putting up a fight, no, this is not somebody I should keep as a friend. So I have navigated that toxic person or the toxic people with toxic behaviors by first understanding the environment, and then once I notice, I just set clear boundaries. It doesn't mean that I'm going to hate on you or make you an enemy, but I know that in as much as I converse with you, I interact with you, when it gets to this, I don't give you audience, because from distance I've already understand that this is your kind of person. I've seen what happens between you and the people that trusted you. So when I relate with you, I know when it gets to this, the clear boundaries, I put them. So for me, you have to recognize the red flags. Be it in relationship, be it at home, be it at your workplace, try to recognize the red flags and then set clear boundaries. You need to also prioritize self-care. A lot of times we people try to be the people pleasers. Like, you want to be all out there, you want to be the nice person, you want to be the good person at your own detriment. You find yourself suffering. There are people that lost their jobs, not because they are not really good at it, but they were trying to be the nice person. They were trying to, just let me cover up for this person. You know that what the person is doing is bad, but because you've already made the person your friend and you don't want to look bad, and you just join in to do certain things. There were people that were caught, let's say, some kind of financial recklessness, not because they even spent 1 naira out of the money, but they supported or they covered up. So you can just prioritize self-care. No, let it not just be about this friend that I'm just trying to be nice. Is it good for me? Is it what is expected of me? Prioritize self-care. And then there are situations you need to also confront, but respectfully. There are people that put up certain behaviors constantly. Like, you want to see, last week we discussed
Okay, you are answering the question I didn't ask you, so just go ahead. I was just going to ask you a question, but you are answering it already. Go ahead.
Okay, so there are people that will want to, oh, I want to see this person's true color. They want to see your humanity show up and all. So they will always put up something just so that they can dare you, they can push you to the wall. So there are certain times that you need to confront respectfully. Let me use Nigeria as a country. Sometimes you see your leaders doing things that are not right, embezzling, and people are suffering. Like, these are reality today. Each time you keep hearing of corruption, you keep hearing of fraud, you keep hearing of recovered loot, yet nothing is happening. People are suffering. Just yesterday, there was protests in Kano and Niger State. People were protesting the hardship that they are going through. They didn't just go out there to destroy, to fight, to shoot government like leaders, but they are confronting the situation. See, the environment is toxic. We can't survive it. People barely feed. So there are instances that, see, you just have to confront the toxicity, like, respectfully.
True. One thing that stood out for me in what you were saying is the setting clear boundaries. So as much as possible, for you to be able to navigate, to be able to survive toxic environments, one thing is true: you need to know where to begin and where to stop, so that you would not mix up relationships. If this person is a friend, this person is a friend, and you know how to deal with that friend. In fact, even between friends, sometimes the friends you keep are actually really toxic. So even between friends, you know that this friend, this is how much I can go with him, and this friend, this is how much I can go with her, or things like that. So it's important, and I'm just trying to reiterate what Joyce was saying. Really key is that issue of setting boundaries, because if you don't set boundaries, you find yourself in really bad places. I know people, we always want to, it's nature to relate with people. So you want to come into an environment and you just want to make friends. You want to be this person, this person that people would respect and agreeable. If you really want to be that person that people would respect, first thing you need to do is to observe your environment. And you don't just stop, maybe you've observed that this person is like this, that person is like this, and then you just stop observing. No. Observation is something that you do like a day-to-day thing. You wake up every morning, you observe. Sometimes the person even comes to, you meet someone, it's not that this is the way this person is normally, but this person is probably burdened by something and he's displaying some sort of behaviors. If you are observant, if you're an observant person, you would notice and you will know how to, okay, this is how I'm going to deal with this person today, because this is where this person is at. And a lot of times we really don't put into consideration that not everybody would keep our secrets. So I had to touch that.
No, it's important. It's important.
Yeah.
This morning, somebody called me. My in-law actually called me to tell me something. Something happened, though, that I'm the first person he's telling. I say, I will tell you. Don't tell me. He said, you have started, Tony. You. I say, honestly, if you tell me, I will tell. Because I have so many things in me, I can't keep anyone again. If you tell me, I will. And I've told 3 people already. He's playing with me.
My friend called me to tell me about something that is about to happen to her. When she called, she said, but don't tell this other person, one of our friends, that because you know her, turn her the backy, she has mouth. So I didn't tell her. So please, don't tell her.
So like, the best place to tell her is on TV now.
She cannot know. I did not say anything.
She knows. She knows.
The person cannot relate now.
Laddie, they are talking about you that you have mouth.
She doesn't know.
Oh, well, so really true is that not everybody would keep your secret. So if that secret is something that will cause you harm, I think it's better to not even get into that secret to start with, that you would have to look for someone to tell, or better still, hold your secret to yourself. But that's
easy. That's why they are telling you. Even them, they cannot hold it.
Humans are naturally expressive. Like,
naturally, Joyce. See, it's something you wake up to every day. You just want to tell people how it went yesterday. You want to tell people what you are planning to do. You want to tell someone how this happened yesterday. If anybody knew, it would have been shameful. You just want to tell people. And is there are people that are deep with things that happen to them. There are certain people, they prefer to tell you certain things that are not detrimental. Yes. Some people can meet you and say, guy, please, if you have 5K, borrow me. I've not eaten since yesterday. I need you to help me with this. But these same people can ask you for money, but they will not ask you for things that are secret to them. They can't walk up to you and say, man, I'm cheating on my husband. They can't do that. But they can afford to tell you, man, I messed up in this area. It's not like they are not cheating. They are cheating, but they can't say it. They would rather say they messed up in this area. They messed up in that area. But to tell you things that are deeper, that is how some certain people are.
Yeah.
I don't think there's anything I have ever done that there's nobody in this earth that is aware of. I don't know how to keep things. And when I say it, I have space for more.
True.
But certain people, in fact, there are people that I avoid. I avoid meeting them. Not that I avoid having things with them. When you are just like 4 of us are talking now, Joyce will say, even me, it happened to me. See, when I was in secondary school, that was how me and that old man, Rita's father, that was how he dictated me. I even traveled with him one time. I lied to my mom. And then Prudence will be, me, I've not told her. This is the first time I'm telling you. Sure, you know that man that I used to have something to do with him. I'll be like, are you serious? Then I'll be like, okay, me is just twice that I had something to do with this person. And one time I stole. Solo will just be here. Oh. If Joyce is talking, if this is talking, what about you? In secondary school, I broke pencil. Is that a toad? You are not telling us anything. That's how certain people are.
Yeah.
Certain people like hearing. It's another form of toxicity.
Yeah.
Certain people like hearing about you. Meanwhile, you don't deserve to hear jack about them. Certain people are like that. Certain people are like that. I remember one time I was with Solo. I did something. It was bad. It was not like I intentionally did the thing. Something happened. And the way I responded was very bad. And for like 6 months, I've been trying to express it. I didn't know. One time I was with him in the car and I just told him, I said, this was what I did. And he was like, So, he was surprised that I was telling him. I said, yes. Once in a while, we have to say it. When people look at you and think you're always perfect, I said, no, this thing happened. It was a situation that happened and I dealt with it this way. Now I'm feeling bad that I dealt with it this way. Till today, he did not advise me. But I told him, I said, this is why I'm telling you. I'm telling you because, I don't know if he can remember, but I told him, I said, I'm telling you because somebody should know something about you. Because tomorrow, you can be in a position incapacitated to talk. I've seen people die without saying a word.
Yes.
If you remember, late Joyce Airquarry, I am so close to that family. Her grandfather died. I was there. The man could not talk for, I think, over a month. He couldn't say anything to anyone. The day he died, I was there. And I watched how everything happened. And so what if that man had a lot to say to his children, to his wives, to his... What if he had a lot to say? What you know people have dying wish. I want to say that, okay, this car is the only thing I want to give to this my grandson. Take it. This is what I want to give to you. But he couldn't say it. He couldn't write it. There was no way he could interpret his heart. That's if he even knew what was in his heart. But imagine that he had a friend, of course, the late former president of ECHO, who is the father of the present president. They were close. If he hadn't mentioned certain things, maybe he wanted to say, this house, they shouldn't sell it even when I'm no more. And he didn't tell anybody. And now the decision of the children is to sell it. It's another form of toxicity. Because whoever brings the issue, whoever is against the issue, that person bringing the issue has become a toxic person in the family. Or the person refusing to the person selling is toxic. You see, I'm not saying everything about you, wow, go and say it. No. But there are certain people you tell stuff. Because tomorrow, stories can come out otherwise. Stories can come out in forms that you did not plan. So I said, Solo, this happened. Maybe I should even say what happened. So, so I said, Solo, this happened. And I had to shoot 8 people and kill them. So that was how it happened. I buried them behind my backyard. And Solo was like, wow. So why didn't we conduct a church service? I say on a murder case. But truly, that was the first time a thing like that happened. And I was wondering what to do with that atmosphere. So I had to take that decision. The decision was wrong, but it solved the situation. You remember I told you, I said the decision was wrong, but it solved the situation. And now the situation is dead. The decision is not haunting me anywhere, but at least I told someone. But you know what? Issues can suffice. Issues can just wake up 10 years, 20 years later. And even if I'm not able to say it, Solo will say, at least this was what he said. He mentioned it to me. And I mentioned it to him objectively so that he can mention it if need be. However, I want him to be quiet about it.
Maybe somebody out there say, hey, so this man have buried a piece.
Oh no! Do you know one thing? Do you know one thing that kills followers? When a leader tries to present himself a saint before followers, it kills them. It makes them struggle to be perfect. Meanwhile, you are not. And you are happy to see them in that struggle. I'd ask you a question. Do you watch football match?
Yes.
You do, Prudence?
Yes.
Solo, do you?
Yes.
Do you?
Sometimes.
Okay. What do you like watching on TV?
Mostly musical.
Musicals. What do you like watching most?
Football.
Football. What do you like watching?
Game shows.
Okay. I'll tell you something. You people are not poor, right? But do you know that it's wrong for a poor person to watch football when he's not doing anything about his poverty? It's toxic to you. Yes. You are making a big multi-billionaire more wealthy by watching what he's doing, and you are not doing anything for anybody to watch. I keep thinking about it all the time. I think that's one of the reasons why I don't like football. Some people even bet money on it. Do you know that these people playing this game, they have royalties from all of these bets? They do. They might not legally have anything written, but it's still within the same trade. It's still within the same industry. So why would you do that? Do you know that there are people that have become broke, poor? They have come to a state of comatose in their life. Since we are speaking grammar today, let's speak it. They have come to a level of comatose in their life. Why? Because they were hardly making a living, and then they introduced bet into their lives. Not that bet they introduced it to their lives. And that thing, sir, I'm yet to see anything that is more addictive than that bet. I've known people. I know someone in Abuja whose shop went from 100 to -10.
There are a lot of them around.
When I say -10, he sold everything, including the furniture in his shop. And then people gathered. And you know, when you start the thing afresh, you win. The first few times you win. And then the people know that this is a newcomer. They whet your appetite by making you see you get few thousands, 10, 20, 30. Sometimes they come, I've won 30. I've won. One time he won 400 and something thousand. Everybody heard. If I won 400 and something thousand to something that I had a sense will be toxic to my business. Because toxicity is not just to human beings, it's also to the things we do.
Yeah.
Yes.
If he had that sense, wouldn't he have invested the 400,000 he won back to his business and just maybe use 50,000 to bet again? How much did he use I think it was 5,000 or 3,000 to win the 400,000. I heard that a pastor in Kaduna went to put 1,000 and prayed and prayed and prayed and fasted 10,000 and fasted. And when the game came, he made 15 million. And they interviewed him, and he said, God forbid to go back to that business. He just put 10,000, he made 15 million. So they asked him what he was going to do. He said the land where they are is his land, but it's a zinc church. And then he's going to buy instruments, he's going to build, he's going to put it there, and he's not going back to bed again.
And
Their own coupon has got.
Yeah.
Yes.
Then he was looking for 5 million.
Oh, you heard the story?
He was looking for 5 million, as in to just organize the
church.
church and just make it.
And he
a
made
little,
15 million.
and he made-
That story
made
was
15 million.
crazily
Yeah.
available to everybody. Toxicity. I want people to know that if you are strong enough, Joyce, to absorb shocks from toxicity, is your work strong enough to absorb it? Because when it comes to you, it wouldn't just deal. Now I feel like speaking American English so that it will sink well. But let me just speak the one you understand, especially you. The farthest you have gone to is Abuja Kotsi Ekwa TV. Joyce is well traveled. Please sit down. I beg you. I beg you. I know you love me. Oh, you have stopped. Wow. The farthest you have gone is Niger State. What was I going to say?
The God that started by fire.
Even God don't catch you. But let me be honest. I was talking about toxicity coming to you as a person. That is going to be on your flesh. It's going to take a pound on your flesh. But toxicity coming to your place of work is a different thing, whole different by itself. If you have the strength to deal with something that was coming to deal with what you do at work, or coming to deal with your body, do you have the strength to deal with the toxicity that is coming to kill your source of livelihood? It's something you don't disregard, sir. It's something you fight. You know, I keep saying it that the way we take work, I don't understand, sir. There's this saying, Zafinima baya Samu. In most cases, it's not true.
I told someone
If you
to just go
live
and
in
speak
Nigeria now, if you live in Nigeria now, Zafinima na Samu. In fact, as a matter of fact, you have to imbibe that Zafinima policy.
True.
Because, sir, the dollar is 1,500 now. Imagine someone sending you $10,000 from the US. You will have 15 million naira. Yesterday, the light in my house surged. So, surged means surged means the voltage moved from. Joyce, surged means the voltage. You're asking yourself if it's you. Yeah, it's you. The voltage moved from the regular 210 to 20.
Sorry.
Victor is funny. He put the shot on wide. He likes it when people see fight. So my charger blew. My phone charger blew. I didn't even know till this morning when I brought it to work. So I saw some smoke around it. That charger was originally bought at 3.5. Actually, Tammy got it for me. This morning, I went to replace it. It was 8,000. And she said she can only take out 500. And that's how I bought it. More than 100% increment.
Yes.
Now, if somebody's watching this show, it's like, is this man crazy to buy a charger at that amount? That is what works for me. Am I happy to buy it? No. I wish the other one should work till rapture. But, you know, it's not possible. These are perishable things. But just imagine that you are talking about food that you need to live. Joyce was talking about the environment being toxic. The economy is also toxic on people.
True.
So wouldn't I rather spend my time on positive things than to do things that are toxic to people and me as well? Because whatever you sow, the Bible lets us know that you are going to reap. And yesterday we were talking about reaping. It doesn't come back the same way. It comes back a hundredfold. It comes back in folds. So let's look at toxicity that is coming to deal with your work. And let me try to give you an example. If Solo comes to tell me that they are the ones doing Joyce's work as head of programs, even though I don't know how she made it there, but then let's just as head of programs. So Solo is coming to tell me, Joyce, well, I'm the one doing Joyce's work. I'm tired, blah, 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 blah. You know, you are not talking to me about Joyce, right? Yes. You're talking to me about the position that she occupies. Take, for instance, Prudence, on the other hand, comes to me and says, sir, Joyce is having a relationship that is sexual within the office. Now that's her. It doesn't affect work in any way. Do you understand? It doesn't affect her work in any way. I can just say, because of that, if it's true, you have to leave. That is different. You are talking about her personality, what she decided to do personally with her body. It's different. You know, people practice sex at work, right? And that's something we should talk about on today's life. Sexism. Yeah, sexism. People do it. I have heard people having conversations about what they did at work. Yes, people do it. Now, you see, these are two different toxicities. I don't know if that's allowed to have a plural, but these are two different forms of toxicity. Let me rephrase that in case that one is wrong, because a lot of professors are watching this show. Professor Amaka, I'm sorry. So you see, when that comes, Solo is telling me that Joyce is way below qualified to handle that position. So that toxicity has affected your job. You will still be working here, but demoted. Now, when you bring that issue and we confirm it's true, you might leave the work. It has nothing to do with your competence at work. There are several people who have messed up here, but I could not have taken the decision of letting them go. Why? Because in the midst of their messing up, they are still fruitful to the organization. So I found a way of dealing with their messing up more than dealing with their productivity. So I praise the productivity with gifts, with words, with encouragement, while I pray and deal with the negativity. And you see, earlier I was talking about leaders setting standards for people to see that it's a big deal to make a mistake. No, it's not. No, it's not. It's not. I make you don't making mistakes that are not intentional. They are not a big deal. But if a mistake is intentional, it's not just a big deal, it's toxicity.
True.
So how much more can you contribute to people coming with toxicity in the direction of work, business, life, and all that, as to you as an individual?
I've seen a lot of people.
Wow, 3 people want to talk at the same time. Whoa!
Wait, who is anchoring?
Go ahead. Solo.
I'm confused.
It's me and my sister.
Okay.
Do you have a problem with that?
Co-host.
Did I explain what Surge is?
Yes, you did.
Kingani Surge.
Sambo Solomon,
Do
go
you
ahead
understand
with
what
your
Surge
point.
is? Please, what is Surge? Not so. Go ahead.
It's such.
Somolon.
Yeah, I'm with you now.
You are with
What?
who is she? Like the Mada people would say. Go ahead with your points.
Sorry. You see,
We're in
I feel.
Toxicity.
I
Talks me.
Toxicity.
Toxicity.
That's the English you understand.
Why?
I'm
Why?
speaking-
What?
I just spoke the one you understand. Go
What
ahead.
is it? What is it?
What's
What is
the
the right word?
Say it yourself.
No. Solo don't say. Prudence, what's the right word? Let the youngest person here deal with you. What's the right word?
I spoke the one you,
know,
understand.
you should know enough not to fight your boss on air. What's the
the
right
one you
word? Let the
understand.
youngest person on set deal with you. What's the right word?
Our
Prudence.
time is fast spending.
Our time is not fast. Sit down here. You are just a. You are a bloody.
Sit down,
You are a
in
bloody co-host. Co-host. What's the word again?
Toxicity.
I spoke the one you understand. I know that.
Speak the one the audience wants to
I'll say
understand.
it before the end of the show. Meanwhile, continue with your points.
I instruct you now to speak the one that people understand. Don't say toxicity again.
That's for you now.
Okay, for them is what?
I'll say it. Don't worry. We've been talking about it.
Don't worry. We will give you a chance to speak, and that word must
come
come
out.
in a
That's
sentence.
not a problem.
She will say toxicity. Wait and see. Before this show ends.
Well, I feel it starts with you, and you just have to be deliberate. If
Am
you
I permitted
really
to take off my jacket on set?
sure, you are.
Yeah, when you are dealing with certain people, you have to be sweating.
The God answered by fire.
I
hope it ends with
I
it.
wonder
my
how
God.
teachers and lecturers dealt with certain people in school, man. Please, Solo, speak.
How?
Our time is fast.
Okay.
spent.
Solo, speak, please.
You-
Take your time.
You have to,
Analyze it well.
yes, you have to be deliberate. In you navigating toxic people, toxic environment, because like I always say, everything that you want to be starts with you. In the sense that, it comes with boundaries. If you know who you are, you know what you want, you set boundaries. But thank God, from the angle which I'm coming, I would say the Bible have set boundaries for us, and He has tell us how to go about this thing, how to navigate. So if you are loaded with the Word of God, and then you are humble to the Word of God, it is easier to navigate. Because this time around, you are not going by what the world set as a navigating mechanism, to toxic environment or toxic people. Because I feel the Bible is the ultimate, the Bible is the final. If you are going by it, the Bible tells you how, you are to be patient. The Bible tells you how you are to be smart. Smart in the sense that He says we should be like
As wise as the serpent.
the serpent. Yes, that's it.
Harmless as dove.
Harmless as dove. So it just creates.
Where were you expecting someone else to be helping? Go ahead.
No, that's
go
what
ahead.
I was looking
Okay,
towards
okay.
this direction.
Go ahead.
And quickly,
The answer came.
the answer
Without
came.
hesitation. Go ahead.
Yes.
From now henceforth.
Just go ahead, Solo. Someone is in the middle of the conversation.
Yes, just go ahead.
Go ahead, Solo.
Yes. So you see, it now gives us a perfect balance. That means for you to be humble, there's a situation that warrants you to be humble, just like the dove. But there are some situations that warrant you to behave like the serpent. Yes, because at some point, like I tell people, I say, yes, look at how Jesus, portray himself, when during his ministry. At some point, he had to flog some people. He can just flog them by just uttering a word and said koboko. Just start flogging these people.
Spiritual strength.
But because he want to teach us something, he had to flog them and say, no, this is not the way to go. At that point, that's what they will understand.
Okay, so I like where you're coming from, but I have a scenario in my head that has been disturbing me. And that's because this is the community, the environment, the culture we found ourselves. We're Africans. And a lot of times when you're going to get married in Africa, they'll tell you you're getting married is a family. It's for the family. So you find things like the family. Probably you're bringing him as a man. He's bringing in the lady that he wants to marry, and he says, "This is the lady I want to marry. She's from this part of the country, or she's from that part of the country." And people are like, "No, you're not going to marry her from that country. You have to come back home and marry." So in that kind of situation, in that kind of scenario, you're talking about how the person needs to know who he is and all that. How exactly would you attack that kind of toxicity? Because you've made your decision that this is the person you want to be with. And your family say, "No, lie, you cannot. It's not possible, not in this." I'm speaking in I'm speaking in the language that they would do.
You see how
here in
toxicity is
Nigeria.
affecting you, man?
All right, so
From
okay.
toxicity to lying.
Okay, so
Directly
let
from
me
where?
try doing it in English. I was putting on my
You're
African.
hell bent. You're hell bent on mine.
Yeah, you're hell bent on marrying this person. This is the person that you've chosen. This is your choice. But the people are saying, "No, it's not possible. Not in our
Do she
community."
got a word to say? You got something to say?
She wants to leave.
You see, you made a very vital point.
No matter how you praise me, I'm flogging
I'm
you
not-
today in church. Because Jesus said it. Solo has made it clear. It's not a sin, man.
The question about how you deal with toxic behaviors, especially when it has to do with your work. When the cliche about no grief for anybody came, I wasn't quick to attack people or to say, "Oh, why are you saying this?" My point is this: is relative. While this person is seeing it as being violent, another person is seeing it as, "I'm going to be determined that this year I'll be up and about. Nothing will stand against my work. Nothing will stand against my growth. Whatever comes in terms in relation to maybe toxic threat or behaviors, I'm not going to allow that." Maybe before now, I've been allowing people, friends to come in between my work to affect my productivity, but this time around, I would not accept that. I've seen people make posts and saying that, "See, if it's not about God, if it's not about my work and my growth, I will not take that. Just know that I'm not available for that." There are people that will tell you, "See, the economy is already hard enough. The country that we're living in is toxic. I cannot come and add up with your own behavior." Sometimes because of your knowledge, your awareness, your relationship with God, you know that you're constrained. There are certain things that humanity, you want to just show up. I want to just respond to this situation. But because you bear the mark of Christ, you know that you should not be found doing certain things. Just imagine that after declaring that, "Yes, I'm a child of God, I've given my life to him, he leads why I follow," and somebody will just want to dare you and see the other, like the worst that you can do. You know, because you are not the one in charge of your life. You still think of what God expects of you in that situation. But you know, the only thing that can help you stand out if there is that boundaries. Because when you set a clear boundary that as far as work is concerned, I've worked with people that I know you dare not come in between their work. Like, you cannot, no matter how close they are with you, you don't joke with their work. I've seen them even at their like sick moments, putting all their effort and their best to their work. Why? They had already set and defined that boundary that, "See, me and you can joke. Once it's break time, it's break time. Once we've closed, we've closed." But you see, in between this work time, you dare not bring anything that is outside of work. And they know, like, they mean it. And even people that relate with them know that they can't. Once this person is about his work, he's about his work. So I think that we should set that boundary. If you don't create or set clear boundaries, look at how the economy is hard. You want to come and lose your job, or what brings food to your table, you want to just throw it.
Sorry, Joyce, did you see the post that I made on status?
Yes.
I said that people should enjoy their present circumstances, your present grind, your present hustle, your present income, your present situation. Enjoy it while you work at making more. That's the only way to life now. If you hate what gives you 5,000 at the end of the month, that means you don't have anything you are building on. If you lose that 5,000, you are not building on top of anything. And if you are not happy having the 5,000 at the end of the month, you know, when people complain that they put more time to get less money, who puts less time to get more money? In the whole world over. Every day. See, take out the things that are not work related in your life and keep it by the right. And take out the things that are work related, keep it by the left. Quantify it. It will shock you that the things you pay attention to are not about work at all. Go and check. And then tell me, how much do you make from these things at the end of the month? No, check it. How many hours, for instance now, let's ask the presenter, since she's been asking us how many hours do you put to work every day?
Well, it's interesting that I would say after work, I don't think I put any significant time to work. So
No, as in, how many
So-
hours do you put to work?
the hours that I'm in office minus my break time will be probably around.
It's not around, it's 8 hours.
8,
Minus your, because it's regular, well, here we say regular 8 to 5, right? Okay. If you are doing 8 to 5, you have 8 hours. Minus that in 24 hours. You have 16 hours left.
True.
Now, what do you do with 16 hours left?
I sleep for 8 hours.
You sleep how long?
8 hours.
Wow, you are rich, man. You are the ones that the government make decisions, that the market make decisions on your behalf. You can't sleep 8 hours. It's expensive. You should not afford it. You shouldn't. You know what people tell you? Lie down and rest. The Bible says a little sleep, a little slumber. Anytime you do something and you attach the significance that God is because it is written in your word, you see the blessings. Don't just do something because Bible says. No, God does not forget anything he has said. But when you say it, repetition is the law of deep and lasting impression. When you say it, God knows that you are walking in affirmity to his word. You can't just do things like that. You can't say, because I'm a Christian and I have scriptures, I'm going to walk that way. No. Always say it. The Bible says, the Bible says, the Bible says, the Bible says to yourself. Oh, and that's what I'm doing it. And now, if you walk 8 to 5 and you complain, that's 8 hours, and you complain that you are overworking and you are not seeing the money, the remaining 16 hours that we said is left, how much does it give you at the end of the month? Let's even say it's 10 hours that you have left. How much does it give you at the end of the month? You know what people say? What people say? This body needs rest. You never hear a rich man say that. Go and check. Mostly it's poor and broke people that say that. Go and check. This body needs rest. just go and check. I'm just giving you, and if you are watching, go and check. The governor of your state, how many hours does he rest? When you have money, that toxicity of thoughts will not cross your path. When you have money, when you have influence, when you have affluence, it doesn't cross your path. You see, it's just so unfortunate that when you speak to people, people choose what favors the erroneous lifestyles that they live already. Motivational speakers, I've never heard one. I am an unwilling participant to hear them. What I am doing for myself is working for me. I don't need to listen to you to tell me what to do. Because see, now I like it that everybody is understanding that their phones can give them money. Everybody wants to have a YouTube channel. Everybody wants to have a Facebook channel. Everybody wants, not for just friendship alone, but for business purposes. But guess what? Some people don't care. There are people that would not just care because of what their age groups are saying. I said groups, not group. That because there are so many groups involved. Some people tell you, you are a man, you are looking for a woman, what will you do? Is a man pleases a man more. That's why you have that movement strong in the whole world over today. Some people tell you are a girl. What are you doing with a man? He will cheat on you. Look for another girl. That's what works. That's what's happening. And then you start trying it out. And devil help you if you enjoy it. No way out. It's a trap. Once you are trapped, anything that is trapped, you die on the trap. Or the person that put that trap, it has to come and take you out and kill you. So I want people to understand that, see, your generation should not determine who you become or what you do with your time. No, you determine it based on where you are headed at. That is it. I have watched more YouTube videos than I can in my life. There are YouTube videos that if I play today, I can almost memorize what the man or the woman is saying, but I still keep watching it because I hate to familiarize myself with the person that's giving me knowledge. I hate to familiarize myself with the person that is giving me employment. I hate to familiarize myself with somebody that is giving me relevance. I hate to do that. It's toxic to want to do that. It's toxic to want to be that way. It's toxic to want to behave that way. So, Prudence, what do you have in closing on the show? That title of show host has expired ever since. So, ever since you started with a lie that is cold in just.
All right, so okay.
Final thoughts about toxicity.
This has been a really interesting time here.
It has been a toxic environment for me. Please end the show.
Okay. You have said your final thoughts on the show.
But
Let me hear yours.
I personally think that sometimes toxicity makes life interesting because
Wow.
I'm just saying, if you're able to get over it,
Please end the show. I want to go.
You are not in
it's
touch,
really,
please.
really.
Off this mic for me, this one.
All right, so as much as possible, we've mentioned clear boundaries, and I think that's one key thing. You have to always make sure that you have that clear boundaries, and you're conscious of people around you, and you're very observant, because those three can actually take you a long way when you're dealing with toxicity around you.
Solo, what do you have to say about toxicity in as few words as possible?
Okay, I think you have to be intentional about life. That would help you to navigate.
True.
Prof! Where Solo is, when you see Solo's face serious, don't interrupt him on this on the show. Yeah, Gole. Joyce Zakada. They are both your names, don't worry. Go ahead.
Recognize red flags and set clear boundaries.
This is how far we can go in today's life. Prudence, Solomon Sambusabi, and Tony Nakali brought this show to you live today. Thank you so much. Okay, Joyce too. When you watch this show, you just have to love us. You just have to love us. We are grateful to the Equa Executive for unending support. And if you're watching us online, Equa TV has been off air on satellite. It's a minor setback, but we are working real hard to be back on air very soon, sooner than you think. Every cast, I'm grateful. Crew members, we are grateful. Equa TV supporters, keep that support coming. Thank you and God bless you. Bye. Have a great day. We'll see you tomorrow. Stay out of trouble. Be kind to one another. Peace.